Hi everyone, it's Bridget here from Paper Creations with another video. I wanted to show you today this little paper bag mini album that I've been working on, and I usually make, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 even every year, and I use them to give as gifts to people. So if we've had visitors stay, or if we've gone to stay somewhere and we've taken photos, I like to put the photos from our visit in there and actually give it as a gift to the person that we've stayed with or that has stayed with us, sort of as a thank you for spending time with us. So this one I've made using the Winking Frog collection from Heartfelt Creations, and it's just beautiful. It comes with you know, lots and lots of gorgeous colours, lots of lovely designs that you can, you know, use in your journaling or whatever. It also comes with a set of dies so that you can cut out, you know, some of these images. You can fussy cut them if you really want to. I'm not a fussy cutter. I actually don't do it very well. So wherever possible, I try to buy the dies. So I've used this collection actually to make this mini album. We're going to make one today using the Candy Cane Lane papers from Stampin' Up, because it is coming up to Christmas and I like to have a couple made at least so that I can fill them with photos of the grandchildren, you know, give one to my daughter to take with her when she visits, and, you know, things like that. So let me show you this album. I've made this using 2 paper bags. So I'll show it to you. So this is the album inside, so I've done a little, you know, introductory thing there and the front cover. And this is not finished yet. There's still more embellishment that's got to go on here. But these are the pages that you can either put little photos on or journaling, little doodles, just little thoughts can be put on here, pictures on the back, and as you can see it folds in. Then you've got another one that sort of flips down like this. Again, you can put photos or journaling, whatever you want to do, same as on the back here. Underneath, I've got a little journaling tag. Now these are just, when you make cards or, you know, projects, sometimes you have to slice a piece off your white card. I keep those, and normally what you do is you would use them for tags and, you know, sentiment things, whatever. The decent size ones I actually keep, and I use a die that cuts the top of the page sort of like this, and I use those as journaling tags in my little mini albums that I make. So we'll make one like this today, and the next video I do will be a slightly different one. It'll be a tag one actually, and I use these in there as well. So anyway, to move on, so I've done a tag to slip in there. So again, you can put photos on here, and I've used a die with stitching around the edges and put a little pull tag on it, and that just goes in under here. As you can see, that's actually the bag in there. So to move on, I've done another little, you know, photo place here, more journaling, and you can write, you know, secret little messages under here if you want. And the end of the bag I've actually stuck together, and I've made a pocket to put this card in here. So again, you know, you can write little messages on here, colour them in. I haven't finished with all my stamping. I wanted to do some stamping across this. So that's the inside, and you can keep going with your layouts. Like, you can do them like this, or you can do waterfall pages that you know, move that way. It's up to you. You can fit as much in here as you can possibly fit in so that it still does up like this. And if it gets too full, like some of mine have, I've been known to actually put 2 holes and then tie some ribbon through there and tie it, put some ribbon through there and tie it shut. So on the back, I've made it like a wallet. So I've made a pocket here, and in here you can put things like, I don't know, movie tickets, theme world tickets, whatever is memorabilia from the visit, or, you know, from whatever it is that you're trying to put together. And then you just put a flap over the top, or you can just put a plain sheet there and just leave it plain. It's up to you, with a photo on the back. It's entirely up to you how you make it, but let me show you how to make this. It's not difficult, a little fiddly in places, but it's not really hard to do. Okay, so you'll need some paper bags. I like this size. This is a 6-pack that I purchased from my local $2 shop from memory, and these measure 11.9 by 22.6 centimetres. I have been known to use all different size paper bags. I've got some that are quite small, you know, similar sort of style. It just depends on what I have on hand when I feel like making one of these. So you'll need 2 bags. Excuse me. Now with this one, they actually look like this. So with this one, I've already cut this little section out here because that's where the tag's going to go. So to make it, you're just going to take this one and slip it inside here. But what I'll do first of all is I'm actually going to trim the sides a little bit so that it can slip in there a bit easier. So slip it in until you think it's at the right point. Then fold it over, and these 2 pieces should meet about there. Okay, and that's slipped in there like that. So once you know that that's right, you can put glue on the back here and slip it back in there. Okay, so I just use my fast fuse and just pop that back in there. Just like that. Okay, so there you go. That's the basis of your album, actually. Now you just decorate it. So take your paper, and what I like to do is, if I've got a lot of scraps, and at the moment we're going through a reno in the craft room, so I've been sorting out my scraps and just looking at what's worth keeping and what I need to throw away, because we all get quite sentimental about the little pieces that we, you know, save. And what I do is I actually die cut them into whatever shapes I feel like. And usually what I do, as you can see here, is I do labels, you know, all sorts of labels I've die cut, little bits and pieces, doilies, and I just keep them in this sort of a tin ready to go for whenever I want something. And then I can throw the tiny little pieces that are left over away. So this one I made using pretty much just 2 pieces of paper. I think we'll see how we go with this, but I may want to incorporate different pieces. So it might be slightly more than 2 pieces. We'll see how we go. So on the front, I think I actually wanted a plain piece on the front, because it's going to have, I've already planned this in my mind, it's going to have the red star on the front. So I'll keep this piece to do the front part. Now on the inside, you can use a piece like this. It's up to you. I usually just lay it in there, and this first piece I take all the way through to the end, like that. Just measure it. You can make it the same size as the bag. So this one is going to go to here, because that's where the lip is for that, and then it's going to cut here as well. So take your trimmer and just cut that. And that's your first piece. Cut it down just a little bit more. Okay. And you can glue that in there. And that should fit in there nicely. Yep, perfect. Just line it up. There we go. And that's the first piece. Now the piece that goes here, you can make it the same or you can make it different. It's up to you. What I like to do here is slip it down in there a little bit. Okay, so when you cut it, you'd actually use this piece here, I'm thinking, because that's definitely going to be wide enough. So I'll just trim that off there. and then we can work with this piece. And again, line it up and just measure it. You're going to turn this one into a pocket, so you really only have to take it to there. You don't need to take it all the way across. So I'm going to make it a little bit longer because I need it to slip in there so it looks nice. And then that piece will be cut there. Again, just bring your trimmer in. The base of the album goes together really quickly. It's actually the decoration and embellishment that take me the longest. So this piece is going to slide in here, just to hide some of that black. It's going to sit in there like that. Okay, so what you want is you want some sticky on the back of that. You don't need to worry about sticky down there because it's actually not going to move anywhere once it's in there. But we'll put some there anyway. So just there. And sometimes these bits here can be a bit crooked, but that's okay because that's easy enough to hide. Okay, so that's that done. So now you need to think about these pieces here. Take your paper, and it's up to you what you put on there. You can put something like this on here, which I think will be quite okay. And just trim it there. Usually I would have all these cut, but I wanted to show you how I actually cut them. This is going to be quite a lengthy video. But let me show you just how I, sort of how I do it. Okay, so that piece goes here. You can see it's a little bit crooked, but you won't actually notice that because what we're going to do is we're going to line it up on this side. Make sure that it's straight on this side because we're going to do something completely different with this side. Because you need to make, if you look at this one, you can see that I've actually put a lip on this and it's under that bit of paper, and that's to slip under there so it stays closed. So as long as we line this up on this side, it should be okay. Just there. Okay. Okay, so this piece, you can do, maybe you can do the little houses on here. Or you can go plain, and I think I'm going plain because, again, you're going to embellish this with something. So you don't want it too busy, otherwise you won't be able to see what you're doing. So again, just mark it. I can't give you measurements for this because it depends on whatever bags you're using. If they were standard size, it would be different, but each one is going to be different, which is why I decided to show you the cutting process so that you'd know how to do it. Okay, and that goes here. Okay. Alright, so that's pretty much. So once you've got this piece in here, you need to bring this over and just fold that again to make sure that it is nice and straight, and you can use your bone folder for that if you want to. Okay, so now you've got that. So now you can work on the inside pieces. So what I did was these pieces that I've got left over, these sort of half pieces and quarter pieces, you can use those to make photo mats if you like. So with this one, if you wanted to, you could make a photo mat that kind of sits in there like that, and then you could do another one under here that sits in there like that, or you could do something like what I've done here with the flip going that way and flip going that way. I change them up. I don't do them all the same. Just depends on my mood on the day. See, that one could even go over here like that. Okay. Now I haven't got a tag made for in here, but you can make a tag to put in here like I did with the other one. You know, you could pull that out and put that in here so that you've got a tag to actually sit in here, and I will make one, not today, but I will make one to put in there, or two. You know, tags are always nice. You can write a little message on there for the person that you're giving it to. Okay, so let's cut some of this. Now I need to keep some of this for the front because I do want to use a plain piece for this. So let me cut this piece first. And again, on the end of this, I'll be putting something so it slips under and keeps it closed. Okay. So that sits on the front there like that. Line it up. Okay, we'll work on the back page last, but you've got this piece here now. So what I've used is a punch, and I've just used some scrap pieces that I've had laying around. Now you want to make sure, although you don't see them, but when it's open you do kind of want them to match in with, you know, the overall look of the album. So you can take some of these pieces, or even, because all the pieces in the Candy Cane Lane papers will coordinate. So you can actually take, you know, even two of these pieces. So you just cut a strip off, and then I cut that in half actually. Or roughly half anyway, and then I put them together, and I actually use a little sticky note just to hold them in place so they don't move. Just like that. So then you can take your punch. Now just bear in mind that that's kind of there. I might straighten that actually. Okay, so we're going to run it from this end. Okay. And the reason I double it up like this is so that it lines up nice and straight, because you can never actually line these up once you do them separately. It doesn't matter how much you try, it just doesn't work. Okay, so you can cut that off and cut this piece off. These will be trimmed some more anyway. Okay. So they go here like this. So take this piece, and what I do is I lay it on the side like that. Like that, there. And then this one goes in here like that. So I just run some glue across it, hold that back, and just stick that in there. Line it up nicely. Perfect. And run that across the top. Then you can trim off the edges. Just there. Okay, so that can now close. See? Okay. Alright, so again I didn't put glue on the edge there, and I just slipped that under there. If I had have thought about it ahead of time, I would have put this on first before I glue all these strips down. To turn this into a pocket, you're just going to run some glue just on a little tiny corner of it, actually, just right on the edge there, just like that, and then you can stick it down. And then that makes your pocket in there. You can do the same on this side if you want to. I'm not. I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, so back to the inside pages. So we can use some of these to make photo mats. You don't have to be too particular with how you do this. So I just pretty much put some glue on the top here and glue it down there. So that makes it like that. So they can flip it up and flip it down. And then I just fold it roughly in half. There, like that. And then you can fold it up and put another one going across that way. Or another one going down. It's entirely up to you. Over here, you would do a similar sort of thing. Like I said, we can put this one here to flip up and have a journaling tag under here. So just put it there. Again, that folds up, and then you can take your journaling tag over here and stick it in under there. Like so. And just make sure that it's still going to turn. Okay, and you can stamp on that, little messages, whatever you like. Fold it up, and that's hidden away under there. And again, you know, they can put photos there, whatever they like actually. And I'm going to stick this one under here. You can fold it like that. Now with this one, it's kind of there. I'm going to stick another one going that way, just here. Try and find a piece of paper. I might use one of these. Again, just, there's no measurements, just you know, sort of just eyeball it and see how it will go. So that one's going to be there. This one's going to go here, and it can go all the way under. Actually, it doesn't really matter. There, and then you have it like that, and that will close like that. Just make sure that that's actually nice and tight there. Now, to do the back, I will take a piece that will fit on here. If you're going to turn it into a pocket, you need to decide ahead of time how you want that to look. So the measurements will be the same. It will go there to there. Where did I stick that? I can't even see where I've marked it. There. And down here. Okay, try again. It's hard to see. Okay. And cut it there. And cut it there. Now you can use a punch to punch out a nice design there, but I'm, you know, I'm a bit of a just a, you know, do it and see sort of person. So I'll just make a rough pocket here out of that. Try and get it, you know, reasonably straight. And then just cut that with your scissors, if you can find them. Snip it along there. If you're good with your trimmer, you could probably use your trimmer to do this, but I'm not that good. And just snip it up that way. Now, because it's going to be a pocket, you only want to put glue around the edges. The first time I ever made one of these, I actually glued the whole thing up. So, don't do that. And I use fast fuse because it tends to hold things really well. You could use a wet glue if you wanted to. That'll work just as well. Okay, so stick that on there. So now we come to the flap that sits over the top, and I'm going to use this piece. Again, you want to cut it there. I'm not going to worry too much about the top at this stage because I'll show you what we need to do with that. So let me have a look how much room I've got. So I want probably about 1.5 centimeters at the top. So if we put that there like that, then we can trim our bottom by 1.5 centimeters or so, roughly. And again, you're just using scraps for this. Okay, so that's what you're left with. You can punch the bottom if you want to make it look pretty. It's up to you. I like to do something only because it, you know, sort of draws the eye and just makes it look really nice. Okay, there we go. Oh, missed a whole section there. Let's see how I go with that. Oops. Oh, never mind. I'll just trim that. Okay. Alright. Now, you need to fold this over just that much, because that is going to slip in between the two. This is actually the gusset of the bag. So if you were to open the bag out, this would be the sides of the bag. So this piece is going to eventually slide in here once I trim the edges. Okay. So let me just cut an angle on those. Like I said, it goes together really, really quickly. Then you would need to put some glue on here, and then that slips in there. Doesn't get stuck to your fingers. And that's probably the most fiddliest piece to do in the whole project. There we go. And there you have it. So that's your pocket, and that's that. Okay, so now to come to these little pieces. So like I said, I like to just, you know, snip and cut pieces to use in projects. Now it comes time to actually embellish things up a little bit. You can just stick things on the front. I like to use keys or something metal here because it adds weight, holds it down, you know. Inside you can use your Santas, or one of the things I was thinking was actually to glue. I cut I dug out just about every stamp set and die set that I had relating to Christmas. And this is actually the, let me find it. The Home Sweet Home die. And all I've done is cut out the front of the house. And just, you know, to use in there. So you can just stick that down. On there. And if you're really clever, when you open the door, you could stamp something in here so that it's nice and, you know, secret. Christmas trees for the pages. You know, it's up to you. Usually the things that you would put in here would coordinate with the set. These are just things that I had pre-cut out, so they may or may not necessarily go with what I'm doing. But, you know, just lay it out and see how you'd like it to look. Let me have a look here. Stick a little reindeer on the front here. And again, you know, you can cut several out. You can put Santa on the inside there. Nice little surprise for someone when they open it. Yep. There. And I was going to put a naughty or nice list on here somewhere, possibly down here. It's up to you how much or how little you want to put in here. You could actually, if you wanted to give it as a gift, you could actually die cut a whole stack of stuff, put it all into a little bag and slip it inside and give it as a gift so that they can actually embellish it themselves. Now I've got my reindeer here. I was going to cut out this red nose and actually use him somewhere as well. Where are we? Okay, there we are. And I like to die cut words to use also. So I have believe here, which can go on the front, and wishes. Let me just fold that up. There, or even there. Just need to poke out the letters a little bit better. Okay, so it can go there. And I have the eye, the dot I should say, which is here. Always save these. Sometimes I throw them away, which isn't much fun because then you don't have. And you can decorate these up with sequins and all sorts of, you know, different things, however you actually like. So you get the general idea, and you can just keep on embellishing that and embellishing it as much as you like. You know, I was thinking with this here too, to have a little wreath on the door. So these are all just current. I'll show you in a moment actually which ones I've used, which stamp sets and die sets I've used. So you get the idea. You can keep going with that forever, and it'll just, you know, turn into a very nice little gift for somebody. So let me show you what I've used. Gosh, I think I have just about every set that I own. The other thing is, like, I've got some of these sort of things, and I thought maybe even die cut some of those as journaling tags to put in here. More words to put in here. I just use everything that I've got relating to what I'm doing. So this is actually the notebook edges, and I got this one from Simon Says Stamp, and it's just 2 dies with little, as you can see, like the tops of notebooks on there. Really handy. I really like this one. Okay, so there's that one. So there's Home Sweet Home. I use the Festival of Trees and also the relevant punch that goes with that. The Starlight Thinlits, which is, you know, my star on the front here. I was going to use Festive Fireside, and I still might. I think one of these pages might actually be like looking inside a house with a fireplace. So that's Santa's Sleigh for the reindeers. I was going to use this one on the front, but I changed my mind. I haven't used this one either. This one is going to be little stamps here and there, especially on the white journaling tags, just to, you know, pull it all together. Didn't use that one. And again, you know, just get your stuff out and mix and match and see what you think. Christmas stockings. Now, I did cut some stockings out. I haven't used them yet, but again, that goes to the fireplace that I was going to cut out and use the stockings and hang the stockings actually on the fireplace in there. So, you know, you can actually embellish this however you would like, and you can add pages, leave pages out, do the pages completely different. But paper bag albums are actually really, really fun to make. Next time around, I think we'll do a tag album, and I'll show you one that I've completed, and we'll put another one together. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully I wasn't too much all over the place with it. But you get the general idea about decorating it up. I won't keep going with it on camera, but you do get the general idea, and hopefully, you know, you enjoyed watching. Thank you.